What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Canvas Conversations, Episode 3, brought to you by FlowCombat.com. Today, we've got another awesome episode for you guys. We've got 3 contestants from The Ultimate Fighter Season 27, which aired last night, its first episode on FS1. This is the undefeated season with fighters from the featherweight and lightweight division. They're all undefeated. An awesome season ahead. Today, we talk with 3 guys representing Team DC. We've got the winner of last night's show, Joe Giannetti, who won in 17 seconds. We've also got Luis Peña, a.k.a. Violent Bob Ross, probably the best nickname in MMA. And we've also got his buddy Bryce Mitchell, a featherweight fighter for Team DC. So we challenged these guys to a bit of trivia. They went head-to-head, so to speak. And then we got them just kind of talking about as much as they can and some of their thoughts on the first episode. So it's a pretty fun one, and we had some pretty good laughs throughout the entire episode with each of the guys. So be sure to leave us your feedback and let us know what you think at the end of the episode, and I'll see you guys then. Welcome back, guys. Our first guest on the show today will also be making his first appearance on the show. He is a current contestant on TUF27. If you tuned in last night, he got an early win in only 17 seconds over John Gunther, scoring the first win for Team DC. It's Joe Giannetti. What's up, Joe? How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So I saw you had that watch party last night. Tell me a little bit about that.
I had a bunch of my teammates, friends, and family come down, and we all hung out, had some food, got to watch the fights. It was really cool. Nobody knew I was fighting on the first episode, so they just thought they were watching a regular episode of TUF.
So as you're watching the show and your friends and family are seeing that you get picked, did you let on at all that you had won, or did you have to keep cool and act like you just got to watch?
I just kept low key. I'd say like stupid stuff either I don't remember or like you just got to watch.
That's cool. That's cool. So they had no idea going into the fight.
No clue.
Oh man. So how did it feel to finally reveal that you did win the fight?
It was amazing. I felt like watching it for the first time just because everybody got so excited and everybody was so hyped up.
So knowing that you won this fight, what was it like going into this week, preparing for this episode, talking to your friends, promoting it? What was it like knowing that you won the first fight, but you can't talk about it?
It was really exciting, and I decided to kind of throw curveballs at everybody. I would try and hint that I was fighting later. I didn't really give away how the fights went, so everybody didn't really know what to expect. So when it all played out, it made it that much better for them.
Right. What was the coolest part about last night?
The coolest part was everybody celebrating at once. I got excited about a win that I got however many months ago, and it just felt like it just happened.
Well, when you did get the win, tell me about that. What did that feel like? I imagine it had to be a bit surreal getting the win in that place.
At first, it was just a huge adrenaline dump. I mean, it was a quick fight. It was just like I walked in and I walked out, and I would have never thought my first fight on TUF would be like that. So the fact that it went the way it did, I had to take it all in, and after I did, it was just an amazing feeling.
That's awesome. Well, during the first episode, you talked about your relationship with your dad and how important he is to you. How did he react to the first episode?
He was excited. I didn't tell him how my fights went, so I actually didn't tell him anything really about what I said on the show, how the show was going to be. So everything was brand new to him, and he was really pumped up about it.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Yeah, he loved it.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, man, what was it like to go those rounds with DC and Kane?
So that was actually the very first practice. We walked in, and DC was like, all right, we're going to be doing shark bait. And I was thinking, okay, cool. I was going to do shark bait with a couple of the other guys. And I was like, okay, who am I going with? And they were like, me and Kane. And I was like, what? And at first they said we were doing 5 5-minute rounds, and we ended up doing 3. And then after the 3, I was ready to puke, and I was like, we still got 2 more. And they were like, no, you're done. I was like, oh, thank God.
So what was the toughest part about that? Just them being able to overpower you, or
It
size?
It wasn't too much the power or size. It was just I wouldn't say I underestimated their technique, but it was surreal being in there with them. So I kind of treated it like regular shark bait. Like I'm just going to go in there and kind of do my thing, and they're just on a whole nother level. So I just felt like I was a little fish in a big ocean, and I was just getting smashed on.
Did you enjoy that preparation for the fight more than the preparation for other fights that you've had?
In the moment, I definitely didn't enjoy it, but when the fight came, I was definitely glad that I had it. And when I got in there and I looked at Gunther, I just knew it wasn't DC or Kane, so I was happy.
Were you a little bit surprised that it went that quickly?
Yes and no. I was surprised that it went quick, but that was the game plan. The game plan was to hit him, touch him first, and make him shoot, and that's exactly what happened.
Right, right. Did you get that bonus that Dana mentioned to you afterwards? Did he give you a little bonus?
He did give me a little finish bonus. Dana's a man of his word.
That's cool. Did you have to wait until the filming was done, or did you get it while you were in the house?
When we got back.
Cool, cool. That's awesome, man. Well, I'm curious, what was your favorite part about living in the house, and what was your least favorite part about living in the house?
I'd say my favorite part about living in the house is, I mean, if you get along with people, it's just like you're living in the house with a bunch of your buddies. I mean, it could be pretty cool. And the worst part is when you're having a bad day and there's people you don't like, you're stuck in a house with them.
Yeah, true, right? Well, I'm curious, after last night's episode, did your social media get any bump last night?
Definitely. I didn't look at my phone for another 2 hours after the show aired. It was blowing up. My Twitter, my Instagram, Facebook, everything was just going up and up and up.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people reaching out to you on Twitter. How did it feel to see the love?
It was really cool. I mean, knowing that many people cared about my story and people that enjoyed the fight. As much as I'm in there to get a win, I'm in there to put on a show for everybody. So I was really glad that they liked it.
Absolutely. Well, throughout this season, man, we plan on trying to interview as many of you guys as we can, as many of the contestants as we can. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to kind of compete against each other on another format here on Canvas Conversations. So, Joe, if you're up to the challenge, I've got about 10 trivia questions for you. They're all related to MMA and TUF. We'll try and answer as many as you can, as quickly as you can, correctly in 30 seconds. And at the end of the season, we'll try and crown the inaugural Trivia TUF champ. What do you think?
I'm in.
All right. So let me start this timer for you. I'll give you 30 seconds. We'll run down these questions as quick as you can, okay? Tell me when you're ready.
I'm good.
All right. Who is the first TUF winner?
Forrest Griffin.
Who is the last TUF winner?
Nico Montano.
True or false? Did any TUF competitor come back as a coach?
True.
TUF originally aired on what channel?
Spike.
Who is the first UFC lightweight champion?
BJ Penn.
True or false? Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin were the coaches on the inaugural season of TUF.
False.
Time. That's time right there. Not bad, man. Not bad. I think we got through probably close to 6. I think we got through 6. Not bad. I think you went 3 for 3, or 3 out of 3. 3 and 3. So Diego Sanchez was the first TUF winner. Nico Montano was the second TUF winner. Yeah, it's true. There were competitors that came back. Forrest Griffin, Rashad Bisping, they all came back as competitors. And then Spike was the original network it aired on. Jens Pulver was actually the first inaugural lightweight champion. Yeah, he had to vacate the title, and then BJ got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rich Franklin, you were right. Rich Franklin was not the first. They weren't the first coaches. It was Liddell and Randy Couture.
You got that
Pretty
one.
good, man. Pretty good. Pretty good. Which was your favorite season of TUF?
Season 5 with Joe Lazon, Nate Diaz, all those guys.
Yeah, that's a hilarious one.
Yeah, you get rowdy.
For sure. Well, speaking of your guys' season, they showed us a little preview of that. It looks like things got rowdy for you guys too occasionally.
Yeah, a little bit. Couple undefeated fighters, egos, gets a little heated, stuck in the house together.
Right. Well, I know you can't talk too much about those future episodes and whatnot, but they look pretty intriguing for the season. Is there any special things we can look forward to?
The only thing I can say is every fight's amazing, and I know I'm biased 'cause I'm trying to hype up the season, but I think that this will be one of the best seasons in TUF history.
That's awesome, man. Well, before I let you go, brother, do you want to shout out any of your sponsors or any of the people that have been helping you out throughout the climb to the UFC?
Everybody at South Shore Sport Fighting. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't be here. Receptor MMA, CBD, On It for all my supplements, Primed and Ready meals, Impact mouth guards, defense soap. You guys are all the best, and everybody that has ever supported me along the way.
Awesome. Great, Joe. We appreciate your time, man. Congratulations on the first win of the season, brother. Can't wait to see how the rest of it goes down.
Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. So there's last night's winner in Joe Giannetti. He's got to be feeling great after being able to finally let out that he won his first fight and got to come home with the bonus. So I'm sure his dad was super happy about that. Like I said, it was cool to watch that last night on this episode and kind of learn a little bit more about him. I also didn't know that he was overweight at one time. We only have a few minutes with these guys. I wish I would squeeze that in. But nonetheless, it was great to talk with Joe. His reaction from his friends and family is really awesome. So if you guys get a chance to check out his Instagram, you'll want to check that out. He's got friends and family that pretty much just go nuts whenever they find out that he wins that fight in 17 seconds. So it's pretty cool to see. Moving on, we've got Violent Bob Ross, the best name in mixed martial arts. I love this nickname. Violent Bob Ross is also a lightweight on Team DC. It was great to catch up with him, or get to know him, actually, rather. He's a great guy, it seems like, and a fun one, too. I think he's going to be a fan favorite as the season goes on as well. I honestly, all three of these guys were super entertaining, so it's hard to say that not all of them are going to be fan favorites. So this was a great episode, and we'll just keep it right going with Luis Peña. So here we go. All right, guys, our second guest of the day on the show will be TUF27 competitor who is also in the lightweight division on Team DC. He has perhaps the coolest nickname in MMA, in Violent Bob Ross. It's Luis Peña. How you doing, Luis?
Man, I'm doing great, Ben. Actually, I'm just about to go in and get a little workout in here at Club Fitness.
Nice, man. I saw you were repping your boy Joe's shirt on Instagram. Did you guys become friends throughout the show?
Oh, yeah, man. All of Team DC actually became really close. Like, we were actually a really, really tight-knit group. You'll see it kind of transpire over the season.
Awesome, man. Well, we kind of talked about it off air, but I wanted to ask you, did you do anything for the fights or have any watch party or anything like that?
Yeah, man. Actually, last night I had a little watch party at this local bar here in Missouri, in High Ridge, Missouri, Iron Barley, High Hog Ridge. It's pretty awesome, you know. A lot of my teammates from Arnold Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came out. I want to thank them for all the support and everything. It was great. And some of my teammates from St. Charles in May also came out. It was great. I want to thank all of them for the support and all the other people that came out. It was great.
So what did you think of the first episode, man?
Man, I loved it. Honestly, I mean, I already knew what happened. So just like seeing everything transpire, seeing how like they pieced everything together was great for me. Like, and then getting to watch, Joe's fight again and seeing it like happen and like watching all my friends and everything see Joe's fight. It was great. You know what I mean? Like just to be able to share, like finally be able to share like the experience that I had with them, with everybody.
Was that kind of weird to keep that all in for all this time, waiting to share all this with everybody?
Oh, man, you have no clue, especially with everyone hitting me up, asking questions. It's like, man, I can't. It's like I just like you go on autopilot, just repeating it all the time. Like, I can't tell you.
So how big of a relief was it for you to let a little bit of that stuff out last night?
Oh, man, it was great. It was just such a huge relief, honestly. Just like for me, there's just so many people in my life just asking me like questions. So like to finally be able to answer like a little bit is just a really big relief. I can't wait till like I fight and I can finally start like talking about all of that stuff. So like they'll get off my back when it comes to all that.
Right. Was it strange to watch yourself on TV?
Without a doubt. Especially like listening to myself, because I feel like I sound different than I do when I talk.
Then you hear yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate that too. Whenever I'm doing this, I always listen to it back and I'm like, ugh, I just hate it. I hate it. So I know what you go through.
Yeah.
Man.
I feel like it's human nature to dislike your own voice.
Yeah, I think that is something. There is something to that. I definitely agree with that. So now that you have seen the episode, are you at all concerned with how they might portray you throughout the season?
Oh, not at all, man. I mean, shoot. People are either gonna like me or they're not gonna like me. So the way I feel, I was me on the show. Like I didn't change who I was. So if you like me, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want all the fans I can get. But if you don't, at the same time, you probably still gonna tune in to see if I lose.
Right. Did you feel like there were some guys that weren't themselves on the show?
No, not at all. I feel like everyone was kind of like, pretty genuine on the show. Like I don't feel like anyone was really putting on.
Has your social media platform had a big boost over the show?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've had like a huge boost in followers on Twitter and like Instagram and everything. Like that was really cool. Especially like the other day, the UFC like mentioned me and like tweeted out like a photo of me with a quote on it. So like that was really cool. Like that got me a bunch of followers. And then like the whole name Violent Bob Ross in itself has got me a bunch of followers. So like for me, it's just really cool because like the other day, I had like I was following more people than I had following me. So like now I have double the amount. So like it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
For a millennial.
For a millennial, yeah. That was hilarious. So is it pretty surreal to get this type of feedback from the community?
Yeah, for real. Like I mean, I've always kind of been popular like in the local scenes where I fight, but like to finally get on like the national level and have a lot of people like focusing on me now in those regards, like it's really cool. It's like real surreal. Like I don't know really how to deal with it, honestly. I'm just like taking it one day at a time, just like doing my normal stuff. I don't feel different. Like, I mean, no one's coming up to me on the street and saying, want my autograph or anything. So it's like, I'm still like a normal, regular guy.
Right. So when you were headed into the house, did you feel like you wanted one coach or the other between DC and Stipe?
Man, I can't lie. As much as I love Stipe, as soon as I saw Daniel Cormier, I was like, I've got to be on Team DC. Like, it was just, I had to be on Team DC.
He mentioned in the Tough Talk afterwards that you guys had met like when you were a kid or something. Did that have something to do with that, or why are you such a big DC fan?
Actually, so it's not that I mean, I'm a huge DC fan. Don't get me wrong, but it's funny. Like DC's gonna hate me. I'm actually going down to train with him here in a couple weeks, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I was always a big John Jones fan because like John Jones is an inch taller than me, and like I always wrestled guys that look like DC, short, stocky, and they always, it was like watching me versus everyone that I ever wrestled. So I always was like a big fan of John Jones. But then like after all the stuff Jones has done, it's hard not to be a fan of DC and the way he persevered through all of that and still keeps going, still has the mindset of a champion. And then to challenge himself against a guy like Stipe Miocic, how can you not respect that? And then, yeah, of course, one of my high school coaches in wrestling was Pat Smith, the first 4-time national champion at Oklahoma State, who also coached DC in college. And when DC was getting ready for the '08 Olympics, him and like Coleman Scott and a couple other Oklahoma State wrestlers came down to the Arkansas Wrestling Academy, and we all got to meet him and watch him train and everything for the Olympics. So it was really cool for us. And it was really cool for me because like he remembered me. Like he was like, man, you look really familiar. And I was like, dog, you don't like we met before. He was like, where? And I was like, at the Arkansas Wrestling Academy. As soon as I told him, like he remembered. So it was crazy for me. And then as soon as like that happened, as soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, I gotta be with DC because it's, it's gonna feel like home. That old Oklahoma State grind.
Man, that is incredible. So all those years later, he remembered you. Don't you think that's pretty wild?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. How many redheaded black dudes do you see in Arkansas?
Or anywhere for that matter, I think. Oh
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. I know what you're saying. But still, I mean, that's got to be pretty flattering for DC, the champ, to be like, hey, man, I remember you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool for me, like, obviously, but I don't know. At the same time, like, I was just hoping like that meant he was gonna pick me, and then he ended up doing it, so that's all that mattered to me. Especially, it was really cool for me too, because he also picked Bryce Mitchell, who a lot of people don't know. Um, Bryce and I actually come from the same hometown, Cabot, Arkansas. So like we knew like we went to high school together. He got on the wrestling team a year after I left Cabot and went to Little Rock. So like Bryce and I have known each other for a long, long, long time. Like Bryce was actually my very first MMA training partner.
No way. That is wild.
Yeah.
So it was super cool for you guys to go through this experience together then.
Oh yeah, Bryce bunked right above me.
Oh, man, that is so sweet. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
it was really cool, man. Like for me, it was just like being at home. Like it was I was real comfortable.
Got you. Nice, man. That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, what was a typical day like for you while you were on the show?
Man, I would just like it was a really focused. You know what I'm saying? I would wake up, um, eat breakfast, take my supplements, get ready for practice. Van come pick us up, go to practice. DC would kick our asses, and then come back home, eat lunch, get ready, try to take a nap, get ready for the next practice, go back. Then all the other coaches would kick our asses, come back home, make dinner, go to sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. There's a lot of getting your ass kicked.
It's living the life, right?
Yeah,
That's
living the
awesome.
life. Actually, honestly, it really was like, um, it's a real grueling experience because you don't have access to a lot of the normal amenities, but it's also like the ultimate experiment almost when it comes to like fighting because you have no other distractions and you're provided with quite literally like the absolute best facilities and nutrition you could possibly want, and then you are also provided with like some of the best coaching in the world. Then you're just thrown into a tournament with a bunch of other undefeated fighters to see who's the best. It was really really just like a great experience for me when it came to like training and getting to go through all of that. Like I loved it.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, hey, man, we're planning to interview a few of you guys as the season progresses. So I wanted to give all you guys the opportunity to kind of compete against each other in another format here on Canvas Conversations. So if you're up for it, I've got about 10 trivia questions for you. They're all related to MMA or tough. You got 30 seconds to answer as many as you can. The guy who answers the most correctly at the end of the season will crown him as the inaugural Tough Trivia Champ. Are you up for it?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely up for it. Your boy is the champion in a lot of things in the house when it came to competitions. I won a lot.
All right, so let's see if you can get you another one then, okay, brother?
All right, all right.
All right, I'll throw this timer on and I'll start asking the questions and you just fire off your answers as quick as you can, okay?
All right, here we go.
All right. Who is the first tough winner?
Forrest Griffin,
Who is the last tough winner?
Nico Montano,
True or false? Did any tough competitor come back as a coach?
Michael Bisping, true.
Tough originally aired on what channel?
Spike,
Who is the first UFC lightweight champion?
ooh, Jens Pulver,
True or false? Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin were the first inaugural coaches and tough.
false,
True or false? The coaches have fought on each season of The Ultimate Fighter.
false.
Time. There it is. I think you got all of them except for the first one. The first one was who is the tough winner? It's Diego
It's
Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, you've remembered it afterwards?
As soon as I said Forrest Griffin, I was like, oh, technically it's Diego Sanchez. Forrest Griffin's just like the more well-known guy.
Yeah, you even gave me Bisping, who on the any coaches that came back as fighters, so that was pretty cool. Other guys were Rashad Evans, Forrest Griffin, stuff like that. So that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. Joe went before you. You beat Joe.
Oh, dude, for real?
Yeah, you beat Joe. I think he went 3-3. So, and you went, I think 5 of 6 just now. So that was pretty good. You're in the lead. You're in the
Oh,
lead. You're on the
hell
leaderboard.
yeah. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Like I said, we had a lot of competitions in the house, and your boy did a lot of winning.
Oh man.
Like
Well,
that's
we
all. Like with all undefeated fighters, that's all we did was compete. Everyone was super competitive.
oh, that's man, I wish we could talk about all that. I know we can't talk about too much of
Dude,
that stuff.
I know, I know. Like that's why I can't wait for the season to start airing, so we can't like I can start talking about more. Trust me, there's so much like this season. I'm telling you, aside from some of the greatest fights that'll probably ever be on The Ultimate Fighter, the just like the back and forth action between all the guys, all the coaches is just great, man. Like it was really, really entertaining, really fun atmosphere to be in.
Awesome, man. Well, we can't wait to see it. Luis, before I let you go, man, I know sponsors are a big part of this for you. So if you want to let anybody know that you're thanking them or let us know where we can follow you on social media, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Violent Bob Ross. I got a Facebook page, Violent Bob Ross Luis Peña. And then of course I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Koi CBD, Fuji BJJ, and Avila's Translations LLC. And then obviously my gyms that I train at, Arnold Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and St. Charles MMA, all under the Team Vaghi affiliation. Big thanks to all of them. And also, I got to give a huge shout out to Team AKA and Team DC, for helping us out this season, helping me out this season. Everyone on Team DC, from the coaches and DC himself to all my teammates on Team DC. We were all real close. Love all those guys. Miss them all. And then obviously, big huge shout out to Stipe and Team Stipe, all those dudes. Miss all those guys as well.
Awesome, man. Luis, we appreciate the time, brother. Can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes down, man.
No problem. Trust me, I can't either.
Awesome. Like I told you, there's Luis Peña. He's a good interview, too. It was cool to find out about him and Bryce being friends. It's awesome that I got Bryce coming up next. I had no idea that they were friends or that they knew each other or had that history, so that was really cool. I can't wait to talk with Bryce and get into that about it. But also cool to find out that stuff about him in DC. I think it's hilarious, the way that he felt about that and the way he expressed that. That was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty cool that DC recognized him after all those years, and I guess he thought so too. So it was cool to get to know him for the first time and kind of pick his brain about how everything went and get his thoughts on the future of the show. You could tell that these guys just want the entire season to get over with so they can tell everybody how they did and just really progress with their careers. So and moving forward, we've got our last guest of the day in Team DC's featherweight, Bryce Mitchell. So after this one, I'll get back with you guys, and I'll see you then. All right, guys, our final guest of the day is also part of Team DC. He's a competitor in the featherweight division on TUF27. It's Bryce Mitchell. What's going on, Bryce? How you doing, sir?
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me on, brother.
Absolutely. What are you doing, man? Where you at?
I'm coming in from good old Searcy, Arkansas. I'm shoveling some cow shit out here. Got my little wheelbarrow, if you could see it right here. It's got my tools and stuff, but I'm just making some compost. That's about all I've been doing all day.
Nice, man. I was gonna ask you, is that something you kind of missed while you were in the Tough House for so long, being out in the outdoors? I noticed from your Instagram you're a big outdoorsman.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy being all balled up and everything. First thing I did when I got back is I got home, caught some catfish. So, it was hard, but you got to make those sacrifices. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Oh man, that's awesome, brother. I just spoke with Luis. He was telling me that you guys grew up near each other, that you guys went to the same high school, and that at one point you guys were even training partners for a while. So what was that like to go through the experience with him?
It was pretty cool that I had a friend there, because mostly everybody, you don't know who you're living with for the next 6 weeks, but it was cool that I had him. He had my back, I had his. So, we used to train a bunch at Westside. We wrestled on the same team. We never wrestled together because he was a year above me, and I didn't start till after he was a senior and he had won state. But we trained MMA shit ton, and I like Luis. We get along real well.
So what grade did you start wrestling in high school?
Started wrestling in 11th grade. Yeah, it was 11th and 12th grade. I started wrestling.
So were you friends with Luis before you got into wrestling?
No, I'd known him. I'd heard about him, but we weren't really hanging out, and we grew up on different sides of town. But once we started training, I mean, we've been friends ever since.
There you go. So did you become friends with anybody else in the house?
Oh yeah, man. I liked everybody. I liked everybody on my team and everybody on the other team, man. But I spent more time with the people on my team. I probably hung out with Richie the most, the Irish dude. He's pretty cool.
That's awesome. What did you think of the first episode now that it's aired?
I thought the first episode was badass, man. I really like Gunther and JoJo. That's a good matchup. It's crazy that the fight only went 17 seconds, When we were there, we'd been waiting 2 weeks for just a crazy-ass fight, 'cause that was the first fight. So we're sitting there all waiting, thinking, we didn't know it was going to go down. And then 17 seconds, we were pretty amazed. So I liked it.
That's wild. I didn't know you guys were there for so long before the first fight actually happened. When you're watching, it doesn't seem like you guys are there for 2 weeks. It seems like maybe 4 or 5 days, and then the first fight happens.
Yeah, they made it out to be like that, but they didn't have the coaches the first 2 weeks. So they were out. We were living in a hotel. We weren't even in the fighter house. We were sitting in a hotel. They had us fucking isolated, man. Like, we couldn't leave our room. We couldn't talk to nobody. I got in trouble because I left my room. I didn't know I couldn't leave. They gave us this piece of paper that said, pretty much, you leave your room, we're kicking you off the show. And I didn't read the paper, so I left my room looking for the hotel. And then, I knocked on the door where the UFC people were staying in their room. And they answered the door, got all pissed off. They was like, why'd you leave your room? I was like, man, I'm starting to go crazy. I just want to work out in the fitness center. And they was all pissed off, and I just started acting crazy. I just told them, man, I'm hearing voices in my room. I said, y'all out of there. I said, I'm starting to hear shit. And got real concerned, and then they let me work out and stopped bothering me about it.
So were you concerned at all that when you told them that you were hearing voices in their room that they were going to be like, man, this guy's crazy. We can't have him on the show?
Yeah, I figured, that would work. And, when I told them I was crazy and I was starting to talk, I said, I've been talking to myself and hearing voices. I didn't smile or I didn't laugh. I just kept a straight face. And just, that's the second, third day they knew me. They thought I was fucking nuts. So, we're going to let this fucker work out. And they didn't any bit of problem after that.
That is hilarious, man. So was it strange to watch yourself on TV last night?
It was pretty cool, man. I mean, it's going to be even real more badass just watching my fight on there. I've never seen one of my fights on TV, so I'll probably get real hyped during that. But even seeing myself last night, that was pretty badass.
So what do you think about the way they'll portray you? Are you worried about that at all, or you don't care?
I'm not really worried about how I'm portrayed. I just try to be myself, be nice, be respectful. I didn't get in any fights or anything like that. I got along with everybody, so that's really all you can do. I'm not worried about it.
There you go. Has your social media platforms grown since you've been on the show?
I've had a few Instagram and Facebook followers and friends and stuff add me, and people have been supporting me, especially from Cabot. I've had a bunch of people tag me on Facebook from Cabot. And I got a lot of people in town watching. That's where I grew up, in Cabot, Arkansas. And I got banned on Twitter for supporting the fucking Second Amendment. They took my Twitter down. I used to have a Twitter. I get on there, and I had some followers, people on there, but I can't even get on Twitter no more. So I just got...
That's so weird.
Yeah, they banned me for supporting the Second Amendment. I was talking shit to Chelsea Handler, man. She was saying she said some shit like all semi-automatic guns should be banned, but she has bodyguards that have semi-automatic weapons, and so that comment angered me. So I tagged her in something and told her cheese fell off her cracker, and they so I ain't got no Twitter anymore. Yep, Facebook or Instagram though.
Oh man, so how long ago did that happen?
That was probably like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Whoa, so this was recent.
Yeah, man. They're anything gun control, man. The government's trying to take them. You know, all these. It's all liberal shit, man.
Are you are you into conspiracy theories at all? Are you into that?
And I'm balls deep in conspiracies. Not even conspiracies. A lot of them are just fucking facts, man. The government.
Yeah,
our gun.
I agree.
You know, that's what it is. You know, that's what we're living in. So, some people don't want to accept it, but I do. You know.
Right. No, I totally agree. Yeah, some of it's not conspiracy, some of it's just fact.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, man, as we go through this season, I plan on having some of you guys, or as many of you guys, on as I can. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to kind of compete against each other in another format here, though, on Campus Conversations. So if you're interested, I got about 10 trivia questions. I had Luis and Joan earlier. I asked both of them, and they did pretty good. They did pretty decent. So I'm wondering if you're up to the challenge. The challenge is to answer as many as you can correctly in under 30 seconds, and then at the end of the season, we'll crown the TUF trivia champion.
Hey, let's do it, man. Hey, I can't cheat. I ain't got no internet out here. You know?
Oh, we could tell. We could tell you can't cheat, man. All right, whenever you're ready. Are you ready? I'll start this timer and we'll get right into it.
All right, let's get it, brother.
Okay. All right, who is the first TUF winner?
Forrest Griffin.
Who is the last TUF winner?
Rose Namajunas. I don't know. Carla.
True or false? Did any TUF competitor come back as a coach?
True.
TUF originally aired on which channel?
Spike.
Who is the first UFC lightweight champion?
Lightweight. That's 185. Or is that
155?
Frankie Yeager.
Okay. True or false? Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin were the first coaches on the inaugural season of TUF.
Matt Hughesing. No, false.
All right, we're out of time, brother. Not bad, man, not bad. So the first one, you missed the first one. That was Diego Sanchez. I think everybody answered Rich Franklin, which is kind of a trick question because he did win and he beat Stephan Bonner, but Diego Sanchez won his fight like directly right before him. So technically, you know, he's the champ.
Hey, you can't go wrong with Diego, man.
Right.
I love that dude's fights, man.
And then we had Nico Montana. She won the most recent season.
A girl, too, because that's what everybody was talking about on the show. I knew it was a girl.
Yeah, you knew it was a girl.
Rose.
And then you got the true question right. There's been a bunch of coaches that have come back as fighters. You answered the Spike one right. I don't remember. Who did you say was the first lightweight champion? What was your guess? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I said Frankie Yeager. It had to be like
Frankie Yeager. It was Jens Pulver.
Jens Pulver, okay.
Yep.
That's
cool. And then you got the last one right with Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin weren't the first coaches. It was Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture.
Yeah.
Not bad. I think you're in second right now. I think Luis is in first. You're in second, and Joe's in third, bringing up the rear.
This shit, man. He's good at that type of trivia stuff. He knows all. He watches all the fights and everything, man.
Yeah, he told me. He said he had a pretty big leg up on you guys during the competitions in the house that were outside of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, there was I can't tell you everything.
Right.
Good though, man.
Yep. Well, speaking of that, I know you can't talk about all that stuff, but we saw a pretty cool preview of some of the stuff that is to come. What do you think about this upcoming season, man?
Oh, man, there's going to be a lot of cool shit, and, you know, it just depends what all they put on there, because there was plenty of crazy stuff going on in the house, so they put all that, you know, the crazy shit that happened in the house, they put it all on TV. It's going to be good TV.
All right, man. Before I let you go, brother, I know sponsors are always a big part of your fighting career. So if you want to give anybody a shout out right now, go ahead, man. Feel free.
I thank Barada MMA here in Searcy and Westside MMA, LD MMA, Gravitas. I'm going to train there tomorrow. Just all these gyms around here, man, in Arkansas. That's what makes me what I am. So, and thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And I know you don't have a Twitter anymore, but what's your Instagram handle and what's your Facebook page?
I think it's Bryce Mitchell _ or Bryce _ Mitchell, but I think it's Bryce Mitchell _.
All right. I'll figure it out and I'll tag it correctly for you underneath,
Okay.
somewhere below right now. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate the time today, man. We can't wait to see the rest of the season, brother. Take care.
All right, hell yeah. Have a good one, man, and thank you so much for having me. Peace, brother.
All right, guys. So there we have it. Bryce Mitchell. He's a character. Actually, all three of the guys, like I said at the top, they're all characters. That was a great episode. It was fun to do the trivia with them. It looks like Luis is in the lead right now. Bryce is in second. And Joe's bringing in the rear, like I said. But who knows who's going to win. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to talk with as many of the contestants from TUF27 as possible. And I'm going to keep the questions fresh and keep quizzing these guys and see who's the tough trivia champion at the end of the season. So hopefully we have a bit of fun with that. We get to know the rest of these guys and get the inside scoop as the season progresses. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate all the fighters that came on the show today, Luis, Bryce, and Joe. Congratulations to Joe on your victory, sir. And for the rest of the guys, we can't wait to see what is to come. And for all the latest in MMA news, be sure to check out flowcombat.com, and you can follow Canvas Conversations all over social media. We're on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. I appreciate you guys listening wherever you're at or wherever you're watching this. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time.